Hello coders, I hope you are coding well. In the previous video, we created add new question in the test and 2DTO method in our Spring Boot application. And in today's video, we will complete our add new question in the test API. And after this, we will test this API in the Postman. So let's get started. So in the Spring Boot application, to complete the add question API, we will open test controller, and in this controller we will start writing a new method, and this method will return response entity, and we will name this method as add question in test. And after this, in the request body, we need to accept the question DTO, and to do this we will add the annotation of request body, and after this we will mention question DTO and we will name this as DTO. And in the body of this function we will write a try block, and in this block we need to call the service method and then we will return the response. And to do this we will write a return statement, and after this we will return new response entity, and in this we will use our test service and we will call a method add question in test. And after this, in the params of this method we will pass the DTO, and after this we need to set the status in the response entity, and to do this we will use http status and we will return dot created. And after this we will write a catch block as well, and in this we will catch exception and we will name this as E, and in this block we will again write a return statement and we will return new response entity. And in this, first of all, we need to send the error message, and to do this we will use E and we will call get message. And after this, for the status we will again use http status and we will return bad request. And after this we will annotate this method with @post mapping annotation, and in this, for the URL we will set /question. And with this our API is completed to add a new question in the test. Now let's run our application. And as you can see, our application is up on port 8080 without any errors. Now let's go to the Postman and let's test our add question in the test API. So in the Postman, for the request tab we will select post, and after this we need to give the URL, and for the basic URL we will give this as http localhost 8080, and after this, for the controller URL we will give this as /API/test, and after this, for the method URL we will give /question. And after this, to set the request body we will click on this body tab, and after this we will click on raw, and here we need to pass the data for the question. And first of all we need to pass the ID of the test, and for the key we will give this as ID, and after this, for the value we will give this as 1, and after the ID of the test we need to pass the question text, and for this in the key we will give question text, and after this for the value we will give what does HTML stand for. And after the question text we need to give the options, and first of all we will give option A, and for the value we will give this as hypertext markup language, and after the option A we will give option B as hyperlink markup language, and after the option B we will give the option C, and at the end we will give option D and correct option. And with this our data is completed. Now to call the API we will click on this send button, and as you can see, for the response status we got 201 created, and in the response body we got the created question. And now let's go to the MySQL workbench to verify this entry, and in the MySQL workbench we will open quiz server DB, and after this we will open the tables, and after this we will open question table. And as you can see, we got one record with the ID 1 in this question table, and after this, for the question we got the test ID as 1. And that's it for today's video. In the next video we will create an API call to get all the tests in our Spring Boot application for the admin.